Hey there, comic book friends, I'm Travis. It's new comic book day. Well, at least new comic book day for me. And a little bit of what the fugue. So, a while ago I had mentioned that I had ordered some boxes. I'm going to do some stacking some stuff around. I got most of it organized. I still have about 2 full long boxes to sort into, let's see here, the rest of my collection. But it's coming along. I had to order 5 more boxes. I just ordered 5 more, because for me I wanted in the long boxes, I wanted to make sure that I had some room for growth in each box, because it just doesn't make sense otherwise, because I'm just fighting it. And right now, when I squeeze those 2 other boxes I have into the main collection, it's already starting to cramp how much I'm going to have. So I'm doing a mad shuffle once again, I guess. So that'll be all organized. As you can see, it's mirror opposite, so I'm good. But right there, those are regular long boxes sitting on top of, those are the drawer boxes there. So it won't be very long, and I'll have a wall of long boxes behind me, and that'll be the screen. And maybe we'll retire. Oh God, this is hard. Maybe we'll retire Batman. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so that's, I'm getting there on that, which is good. I'm coming up on September. September is when I started my YouTube channel in 2011. So what that means, I'm coming up on 6 years of doing this silly comic book channel. So I'm not sure what I want to do for that or whatnot. I mean, I thought about doing a question answer kind of thing, but I'm not sure. What do you guys think? It feels like that, everybody's asked me all the questions already and I've answered them all, or at some point. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's people out there that's dying for a reason to ask me questions and just haven't bothered to at some point. I always would think that you would, when it comes up. Oh, hey, I wonder about that. What Travis thinks of that or whatever. Anyway, so I don't know. I'm hoping to have my stuff organized before that. Like I've said in some prior videos, there's some other videos I want to do, and I kind of need my collection organized well enough that I can get to what I want to reasonably quickly, kind of a thing. So we'll see how that all pans out, as far as that goes. I'm not 100% sure what's going on comic book news-wise that's caught my attention. Clearly, this week, I think for most of humanity anyway, been a pretty tough week, between stuff that's gone on in the United States. I know racism and all that kind of stuff has always been around in some sense, whatever, but it really raised its ugly head, this last week. And so a lot of the stuff that's been around that has been incredibly tough. And I say that as a basically straight white male who lives in all kinds of comfort and privilege. Really hard. Can't imagine what it's like for people who don't have my level of privilege. But yeah, some pretty rough stuff. And then just like today, last night, terrorist stuff going on in Barcelona. Some really tough stuff, and been hard to process and figure out exactly how I personally want to answer to some of that stuff and whatnot. I feel like there are channels on YouTube within the comic book community that help feed some of that awful stuff, and so those awful viewpoints. But yeah, I'm hoping that at some point, I know they get tons of views right now. All the controversy stuff that they do, tearing up comics and heavily trolling creators and all that kind of stuff is all cool. I'm sure it's generating lots of hits, fill their coffers with a little bit of money or whatever. But I'm really hoping that disappears and have real dialogue about comic books and basically as a whole attempt to treat each other a little more decently. But that being said, I don't subscribe to treating people decently who are monsters. So there is that. But anyway, we're here to talk comics. Let's talk some comics. I don't know if there's going to be a comic book roundtable this weekend. I think there will be. I'm not sure if I'm going to have anybody on, so it may be just me briefly on being for a few minutes talking about my comic books. I know some people are tied up with some of their stuff, so we'll see. I will play that by ear, but I will be on for some period of time if it ends up just being me. I'll come on and chat a little bit about whatever books I get read. Speaking of which, this week I have 17 books, it looks like. My poll is now consistently goes under 20, it seems like. I don't know if that's just because a lot of books are on hiatus or if I've really dropped that many books. I really haven't dropped a ton of books. Largely, the books have been dropped for me and that they've been, canceled or they've ended or whatever the case may be. I think there's new stuff coming up though, so I'm going to be interested in picking up some new stuff. So we'll see how that all, works out in the grand scheme of things. All right, let's check out what I got this week. Black Cloud. This is issue number 5. I want to say. I think this is the end of the first arc of this. I really started enjoying it at about issue 2, 3 definitely. Really excited by the book. Curious to see what happens now. Our main character is back in this kind of dream realm where she had a significant amount of power, did some real damage. I think she was kind of convinced, bought into the hype of a revolution, and toppled the power and then left. So kind of left everything in a lurch. So we'll see how that all plays out. So I'm real curious to see about that and what's going on there. There's a giant walking around that she's responsible for, a guy named Todd that is basically eating people and all kinds of craziness. So see how that all plays out. Looking forward to that. Seeing how that all goes together. Godshaper issue number 5. I actually did not read issue 4. I'm going to wait and get the last issue, and then I'm going to read them all together again. I had some problems with the beginning of the book. It seemed really, really scattered and stuff. I know now it's kind of slid into this, crime family kind of thing that our main character is trying to escape and is now potentially part of. So we'll see. I'm going to wait, like I said, get them all, read them all together, and see if it cohesively makes a little more, it's not that it doesn't make sense, that I enjoy it more. It feels like it's gone too many places and not answered enough, questions along the way. It seems like there's parts of the story, whereas they are interesting in and of themselves, maybe they lend to the, explaining who the characters are a little better, but they still seem like, when you're limited to basically 6 issues, it felt like it led us away from telling the core of what the story is. So, American Gods. This is issue number 6. I don't know how many issues. This is supposed to be 12 issues, whatever. I am not reading it, as I keep saying. Disembodied Voice is reading it. She seems to be liking it. I love the covers, the David Mack covers. So, that's all good. But yeah, I'm not, like I said, not reading it. I don't. P. Craig Russell's breakdowns and Scott Hampton's finishes on it. I don't know. It seems very static, and I'm not enjoying it artistically as far as that goes. So I quit reading it a while ago. Rock Stars. Children of the Beast, Part 1. This is actually issue number 6. I really enjoyed the first 5 issues. I thought it was a lot of fun. I like the idea of it, the whole rock and roll mythos kind of a thing. So I'm digging all that. Megan Hutchinson, I really like her artwork on the book. That has been super enjoyable also. This is the first Joe Harris book I kind of dug. I mean, even in this issue, I can see some of the fallacies of his writing that I'm not real keen on, but I just really love this idea, the whole rock and roll mythos and hunting that stuff down and what's real and it having some sort of odd influence on society and all the other kinds of stuff and whatnot. And characters are fun. You know, our kid that's grown up being steeped in rock and roll legend and whatnot, and seems to have some actual mythological ability to connect the dots and see things happen before they happen, and be able to see the rock and roll past in a way that no one else can. And our reporter here, who is just trying to become a successful journalist, and she's an interesting character in her own right, and tagging along with him because that's where the story seems to be at, I would guess. So we'll see how this new arc goes. Looking forward to it. Next up, we have Winnebago Graveyard, issue number 3. Really, this is another book. I really love the art in it. Samson's art is just absolutely great in it. Love the coloring by Petro. It's a Hills Have Eyes kind of a horror, story. The kind of crazy cultists trying to hunt down our, innocent tourist type victims. The art is really what sells the book. Just really enjoy it for that. I think there's one more issue of this, I believe, or 2. I think. Not 100% sure on that, but looking forward to checking that out for the art, if nothing else. Next up, we have Batman, issue 29, more of the War of Jokes and Riddles. Looking forward to this because I just really love the art once again in this. The Janet art has been really cool. It has been interesting to watch this kind of battle between these two villains, and the little bits and pieces of current time we get splopped in as Batman is telling this story about this thing that happened a year after 0 year. So curious to see how it all gets settled down, because clearly this war doesn't go on forever, but it's cool watching the big piles of villains picked on each side, and what they do and stuff has been rather cool as a Batman geek. So that's been lots of fun. A Batwoman issue number 6. I believe we might be. This is Pax Batmana. So new storyline, new story arc. So looking forward to checking this out. Tinian is still named on the cover anyway. I'm looking forward to him getting off the book and it truly just being Bennett writing it. This has got a different artist on it, so we'll see how that goes. I don't think it's going to. I think maybe this is a like a one shot or something. So we'll see. I think the other artist is coming back. Steve Epting is coming back. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it just being Bennett, seeing what she wants to do with the character in particular. See if I'm enjoying it more. Not that it's horrible, but it's not like totally riveting either. It's not as cool as what I want Batwoman to be. And I think Batwoman is a cool character, and it can be a really cool story. So, Astro City issue number 46. As usual, this has been a lot of fun here lately to read. Looking forward to seeing where it goes at this point. Lots of breaking the fourth wall with this character. So, definitely looking forward to checking that out. Issue number 2 of The American Way. Those above and those below. Really enjoyed issue number 1 a lot. Seems very poignant, very relevant to currently what's going on in American society and culture right now. So I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. Ridley is telling a very interesting story. Gently is doing some great artwork in it, so very much looking forward to checking out what's going to go on with this. We've kind of set up some things in motion. Now we're going to get to see those things play out, so I'm very much looking forward to that book from Vertigo. More of Wonder Woman, The Heart of the Amazon. This will be the 2nd issue of this arc, I believe. Wasn't super excited by the first issue of the new team working on at least this arc. It wasn't bad, but it didn't totally entrance me. It felt very standard superhero kind of an affair. So we'll see how this plays out. It'll be interesting. One of the story elements that seem to have been dropped in the new arc. There was some tension between Wonder Woman and Etta Candy, and that seems to be non-existent. It seems like in the latest thing. So, see what that ends up being like. Issue number 12 of the Trinity. So we've got a year of the Trinity. This issue is entitled Dark Destiny Part 1. I'm excited about this because, of course, the Trinity that's down here are our Dark Trinity of Zatanna, Constantine, and a Dead Man. So we'll see how that all turns out, because they're the Mystic Trinity, right? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this story. Bits and pieces of the story have been kind of hinted along. There's some different kind of Lazarus pits. Not really Lazarus pits, more of a Pandora pit kind of a thing. So we'll see how that plays out. Looking forward to seeing what that's all going to be, because I really like those characters. Not particularly excited to see this as much as I have been loving as a whole Superman. This is issue number 29, a minute longer, part 1, which means there's going to be more than one part of this. Champagne writing it, Doug Mankey doing the art. So the art will be consistent with a lot of the Superman stuff that we have seen, which is good. But we got some Yellow Lantern stuff in here, and I'm not have any real interest in that. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. I'm not super excited by that. These are just Superman stories, and that's what they're supposed to be. But I want to get Tomasi and Gleason back on the book, telling the kind of stories that we got when this Superman run first started. But issue 29, book I dearly love, Super Sons, issue number 7, Planet of the Capes. So this will be the second issue that has Teen Titans in it, and they've kind of are ignoring. They've been ignoring Superboy. Something happens to the Teen Titans, and they all get hit with some sort of age thing. Some Clock King or some other clock-oriented villain hits them, and they're all old people now. The cover doesn't show them as old, but they show up and they're like old geezers. I mean, really old, their teeth are falling out, hair is gray, lots of wrinkles. So very much looking forward to seeing how this all plays out, because it's a lot of fun. Tomasi writing it, and the super wonderful art by Jimenez is just really, really, really good. Really a joy to read that book. Lots of fun. Oh, we finally get an issue of Southern Bastards. This is issue number 17. Very much looking forward to reading this book. It was heavily delayed. Jason Latour had lots of chaos in his life. Father died, and some other stuff happened, I believe. So it kind of stalled this book out for a bit. And I think after reading I think after this issue, there's going to be an actual break also. But it's worth the wait. It's always worth the wait. The book is just really, really wonderful. Really enjoying it. I'm curious. Got our used car salesman here and a monkey, so there should be some other stuff. And note the color change in the cover. So I don't know. This is a single one of its own kind of thing. A start of a new arc. It seems like the arcs kind of go in colors. And then we got this yellow cover, and they always kind of tend to be kind of monochrome of some color. They have been kind of reds and oranges. I think there's some blues in there too. If I remember correctly, but this kind of yellow color now. Curious to see what happens. Definitely looking forward to checking it out. A Kirby one-shot, kind of the part of the whole, Kirby 100 dedicated to Kirby. This one is Sandman oversized special, $5, so it better be awesome. So yeah, Sandman, plus it includes classic Kirby bonus stories, so there's gonna be some Kirby thrown in there. Dan Jurgens, Orlando, Bogdova, Leonardo, Green, Flores, and Buccellato on colors. Sandman's an interesting character, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they do with this. Haven't been super excited by some of these Kirby one-shot kind of things, but I'm always interested to see what they're going to do with the characters. I pick up a lot of them. I didn't pick up the Newsboy one, which I'm really happy I didn't pick that up. So we'll see. We'll see what's in store. I have no expectations as to what this is going to be. But anyway, I will check it out and probably let you know what I thought of it. Nightwing, issue number 27. We're back with Spiral again. It seems like number 1, right? I think he's number 1. Tiger is, Agent 1. some of the old Spiral crew are coming after Nightwing for some reason, and Huntress is showing up because she's part of that whole kind of thing. We'll see how this plays out. I really enjoyed the Grayson story arc and storytelling that was going on. So maybe I don't necessarily need the comic to go back to that, but I really liked what was going on there. I liked the character and all aspects. So hopefully we get some cool story here. I'm not on the book a whole lot longer because, of course, it's going to tie into the DC Metal stuff, which you will see by the end of this video. I did not get any of the DC Metal stuff, so I dropped this book because it ties into it, and I just don't even want to begin the shenanigans. And I haven't been really feeling Nightwing, so yeah. So we'll see how this goes, though. I do like these characters. It's always a draw to the book, that's for sure. And finally this time, Cave Carson has a Cybernet Guy, issue number 11. We're almost coming up on a year for this book. Wonderful cover by Oming there. Wonderful art inside, I'm sure, by Oming. Nick Flaherty doing some great colors on it also. Just kind of it's really gotten bizarre. I've really enjoyed this book up to like the last couple issues, and then it's gotten so kind of fractured by the whole dimension hopping thing that I'm not even sure I 100% understand what's going on. I still think I know who the bad guys are, but I'm not 100% positive on that even anymore. So we gotta start, pulling something together to have some level of cohesion. I think otherwise, us as single readers anyway are going to start really getting lost. But I really do enjoy the art in it. Art always makes it a fun to read as far as that goes. But I have to admit, the last issue was a bit of a minefield of I'm not sure what's going on. So I'm hoping this issue kind of cements some of that stuff. Anyway, yeah, that is it. That is my books. Looking forward to jumping in and reading those. And like I said, I'll be on in some capacity tomorrow at 6:30 Pacific time. Like I said, not sure if I've got other people coming on with me or not. But even if not, I will be on here by myself, at least briefly, to kind of talk about some of these books a little bit and, whatever else. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you're making it through the week. You got some books to kind of offset some of the stuff that's going on out there in the world, and we'll get through it, and we'll be back next week. Have a great one, everybody.